The Morgan Dollar series has a lot of blessed rarers. Errors. Rarers? Errors? I guess they're all the same thing, right? Errors are rarer, just not combined together as the same word. The first one they ever made was that 1882 O over S, right? An S die at New Orleans. But the one that intrigues everybody, not the alligator eye, not the hot lips from 88, not the micro O from 99, not the O over O from 1880, is the 1900, because it's the only one that involves Carson City. There's a 1900 Carson City. It's a 1900 O struck on the reverse die of a Carson City called the O over CC. It's one of the rarest of all Morgans of all time. And tonight we have a handful available again. Now, there was that book written years ago on the top 100 U.S. coins of all time. To have a Morgan dollar error be in that group is why NGC puts it on this label. 1900 O over CC, so it's a 1900 New Orleans O mint coin, but on the reverse, which we'll see in a minute, you'll see the O mint mark. If you look under it, you'll see the CC mint mark. And so instead of making a new die late in 1899, they took one of Carson City's when they closed in 1893, 7 years earlier. Now we have a graphic that makes it even easier to see. We'll bring that up for you here in a second. And it basically shows you very cleanly the regular O on the bottom right, just the way it's supposed to be. But the O over CC means they punched the O over the top, but they didn't take away the CC underneath. So you see the CC on the outside edges on both sides. A beautiful part of U.S. history. It's the only over-date CC there is, and it happens to have been struck 7 years after Carson City Mint closed itself. But here is the rest of the story, and it's a fun one. If you go to NGC's population report, they list it as a separate line item. The 82 O over S and the 1900 O over CC are listed separately, just like they're listed separately on the Red Book. They're significant varieties. There's only 4,032 O over CC Morgans that have been certified, yet they've certified almost 4 million Morgans. Think about that. Now, if you look at the rare Morgans, I mean the rare Morgans, the 93S, the lowest minted of all time, with only 100,000 struck. There's 3,647 of those that have been seen and certified by NGC, all grades. The 94P number 2, 4,393. There's actually more of those than there are of these. Then the 89CC, the last Carson City, the rarest of all Carson Cities, there's 5,692 of those. Heck, the lowest O mint, the 93O, there's 4,361 of those. So the only coin it does not beat for rarity is the 93S. It beats everything else in the series. And it has that novel story. Now this graphic, by the way, will come with your coin, so when you get it, you can turn it over. And if you're like me and you had cheaters put on your eyeball, had the cataract surgery, and you had the zoom lens put in your eyes, which means now it's like, you know, Steve Austin and the $6 Million Man with my vision, which is great. You don't need a magnifying glass. But if you still use cheaters like I used to, you can still see it, or the graph will bring you right to it. But what a phenomenal coin. What a phenomenal story. You can't beat it. You can't make it up, right? I mean, the Morgan Dollar series is 1878 through 1904, and again in 1921. There are 29 Philadelphias, including the 8-tail feather, 28 S's, 26 O's, right? 13 CC's. There is the one Denver. So that makes up 97. And then there are the varieties, right? The 7 over 8 tail feather from the first year. There's the 82 O over S. There's the 87 alligator eye. There is the 88 hot lips. There is the 1899 micro O, which is the quarter die put on the dollar. And then there's this one, the 1900 O over S. So there are 6 primary varieties, of which only one of them involves Carson City. And it's an overdate that happened 7 years after. 7 years after the Carson City Mint closed. So again, it makes total sense. The government was efficient back then. We didn't throw things away or let things sit. We valued the asset, and we sent all of our stuff to New Orleans to help out. So they would have extra dies and so forth. It's just that when they needed a die late in 1900, they grabbed the Carson City die, and they didn't resurface it. They just overpunched it, which has been done before. If you're a Morgan dollar collector, you gotta love New Orleans. Know why? Because of the coins I mentioned to you, which are 6 coins, 4 of them are New Orleans minted. 82 O over S, 88 hot lips, 1899 O micro, and then the 1900 O over CC. God love New Orleans, because they gave us 4 of the 6 craziest Morgans of all time. But as I referenced, this one, beyond special. Beyond just the story of a Carson City coin made 7 years afterwards. But now when you go into the actual lookup, because it's provided information, it's free, you can go in there and look. And if you look at the top 4 the top 4 Morgans of all time, the 93S, 3,647 of them, seen all grades. The 94P, 4393, the second rarest. The rarest Carson City, which is the 89 at 5693. The 93O, the rarest O, 4361. All tiny number coins seen, which is why all those coins are expensive. And then this one, which is also a top 100, as referenced in the label, only 4,032 as of today. And that means it ranks number 2 all time for rarity of all Morgan dollars. That's the wow of this conversation. The 1900 O over CC. Now, all of ours are certified by NGC. We have them certified because I can't tell you how many coins we look at and we grab and then we send in. And every time, and we have some great eyes here, every time we send in 10 or 15 coins over a 2 or 3 month period of just finding the coins, we get back at about 60% of them that they'll certify as genuine. Now, usually they'll say the others are weak versions, but they don't want to certify weak coins. That's okay, I like it. But that's why we certify them. We want nobody to be, we want you to have this very unique coin. Guys, the 30-second clock, we gotta be moving on. Morgans, 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 the number 1 coin in the world. And how about the best variety available? It's the last variety as well, right? The 1900 O over CC. The only one involving Carson City, and it was involving Carson City 7 years after Carson City closed. Population reports say it's number 2 on the depth chart after the 93S. That 93S is a $5,000 coin. The 94P is a $2,000 coin, and this one's a $200 coin with us tonight. By the way, I will mention my competition. They're at $350 and $399 respectively for the same quality coin. Those are raw in a capsule with a little story card. Ours are certified, and we're $150 and $200 respectively less. Same coin. Special, special stuff.